down the beach when I spied an old man. He was lying on his back with a bottle of wine and a smile on his face as he travelled through time. He opened his eyes and he looked my way, and we talked till the sun went down. He said, I left this river in 61. God, it's good to be back home. He cried, roll on, Mother Miramichi, continue your journey to the deep blue sea. Let me stand on your shoreline and feel the soft breeze. Roll on, Mother Miramichi.
She's way. I'm just driving down along the shore road, and that is a song from Frank McKinnon. And there's Middle Island right there. Thankfully that vehicle's in front of me, otherwise I'd be going faster than I am right now. So welcome to another edition of Mirami-histor-chi, and I hope to be hanging out with Raj a little bit later this afternoon. We'll do some stuff.
Still a sandwich, but also a super Mario.
I'm in Rogersville, just outside the Miramichi right now. That is the pizza that I'm having for lunch. It is a 10 out of 10, and that is the sandwich that my mother is having. It is also a 10 out of 10. The name of the place is Alma. I'll show you the exterior. I'm not going to show any video inside as there's people sitting in here, but it's a beautiful little food eatery just outside of our lovely Miramichi.
Skate on, just kind of hanging around the benches there, and just go along, talk to each other, tell them stories, right? And then when they change lines, you go over to the other guy, you know, that's all.
Oh yeah.
You don't go for a skate, you just put them on. And
oh, he put them on during your hockey. Well, there you go. See, that's what we do behind the scenes here. We are continuously sharing historic stories on the Miramichi. That's about old-timers hockey, folks.
oh, we got some of that a little further in.
Yeah.
Something dealing with Harold Shaw's Raiders.
Right on. And yeah, we talked about Shaw I think last week. So Shaw's Raiders are coming at you. So that singer there, that's Frank McKibben. And that's it's called Mother Miramichi, and that's me going down by the shore road down by Middle Island. Again, today it was snowing. I was on my way up to town. That song comes from a 60th anniversary of the Folk Song Festival, and there's like a compilation of songs on there. So I thought that was great, Raj. Little bit of housekeeping. Ethel Logie. We mentioned, when I go back and watch our recording, I said Ethel Logie was the last person to live in that Brookside farm house. She's the last Logie to live in it. It's occupied now by the Murdochs. Yvon Durrell, remember we said what title did he hold? He held the Canadian Light Heavyweight Championship. Wow, the fighting fisherman. Wolfgang Huxma, I have a note here to phone him. I want to find out what he actually did. Like, did he run? He's a great. Did he run in a Ironman, or was it just a regular triathlon? We know he did Boston Marathon and all that stuff. Peter Nevin, I have another note here. Did he win the 3 cups? I got to find that out. Dewey Gillespie, I think that's Kenny Blackear's father-in-law. We mentioned that book of the tying the fishing, and I don't think we gave it enough. We didn't give it its due, pun intended. And so I'll talk to Kenny about that. Field hockey, I said that Monique is the brother to Tony. She's the sister. And then I kind of said something smart about nobody knows the rules. And I was just talking, like, it's not like the most mainstream of games. So I wasn't being insulting in any way. And, okay, there's my housekeeping. So Roger Como has pulled out the year 1989 today. We're here with the local historian, Mr. Roger Como. He is documenting decades and decades of Miramichi's history and the surrounding area. It's local. It's his interests. He'd read through the newspaper, cut out things that were of interest to him. We are on the south side of the river, the Chatham, Logieville, Nelson side, so we know more about that. So please understand that. He's also a dog sitter extraordinaire. He a man of many talents. So we're sitting here in the basement again. It's nephew, uncle, having another glass of water to hydrate myself. And Raj pulled out 1989, Raj, so right on. And you know what? I was thinking about world famous today. It's like I got a friend that's in Ireland, and he's watching this.
Yeah.
So that's another country in the world. So that means that you are world famous. We got viewers from all around the world, folks. So, 1989, we have an interesting way to begin the new year. How do you begin a new year? What's always on the front page of a newspaper in the new year? It's the first baby. So, are we starting with this one?
Yeah, we have two photos.
Okay, 2 photos. Do you want to go couple first and then we'll show the mother later?
Yeah.
Okay, so this family here, it says, Logieville couple lay claim to Canada's first born of 1989. Anybody in look at the face on that man back there. It looked like he hadn't slept in about 10 days, folks. He was getting ready to pass out cigars. His beautiful wife, Darlene, and their little baby girl, I think it's Megan. So Darlene and Chris Ross of Logieville admire the newest addition to their family, Megan, the first baby of the Miramichi and of Canada. So a baby girl born here to a Logieville couple shortly after midnight Saturday is believed to be the first New Year's Day baby born in all of Canada. Megan Ross, daughter of Darlene and Chris Ross, was born at 12:33 a.m. at Hotel Dieu Hospital. Megan, the Ross's third daughter, weighed in at 9 pounds, 8.5 ounces, with both mother and child doing fine, said one hospital official. And that's 3. Did they have 4 or 5 daughters?
Oh, maybe 6.
Maybe
5
6.
for sure.
It was all girls. And then Roger just informed me. And then when those girls are now out having their own families, apparently they're having all boys. Is that something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Darlene and Chris Ross, first baby in Canada. I went to a hockey pool at this man's house before Chris Ross, and I won it. I had first pick overall. It was the year the Habs won the cup. In '93, I picked Gretzky, who was in the final. And Chris is a gentleman. He came up to me after my dad's funeral. He was one of Logieville's, if not Logieville's fastest man. It's kind of between him and my old man, Ronnie Como. And what's your other photo here, Raj?
Well, it might be Megan's first yawn.
And look at this. This is another photo of Darlene Ross with Megan, mouth wide open. Look how happy she looks. They're an amazing family. It says, a big yawn. Megan Ross, believed to be the first baby born of '89 in New Brunswick, if not Canada, shows what she thinks of the whole thing. She's shown with her mother, Darlene Ross of Logieville. So right on, Raj. A gorgeous way to start our episode number 21 of Mirami-histor-chi. I ran into a few people today at Creative Grounds. One young woman comes in. She said, "Oh, I've been watching your episodes. I know your uncle's son, Josh. And I was just down for dinner. And they're interested in watching some episodes." So, Raj, at least we're connecting with a few people around.
Okay.
What do you got going on?
These are the best in the sports world.
Okay.
Tommy's her name.
Okay. So this is year-end 1989. At the end of the year, it's the best in sports in 1989. And we'll start with a photo up here of 3 young Miramichiers. Look how handsome and healthy those young guys look. And I will read. I think one of them's a principal. 3 Newcastle area hockey players left for Sherbrooke, Quebec, Tuesday to compete in an international Bantam AAA hockey tournament. From left, Jamie Henderson, Paul Cole, and Mark Warner are members of the New Brunswick Winter Games hockey team. The tournament ends Sunday. Really, really excellent. Here's another thing. It says Tommy's named Team of Year. The James M. Hill Memorial Tommies have been named the Miramichi's '89 Team of the Year. They won the New Brunswick High School Hockey Championship, the Big Six. They had an excellent record in the Tommies were 21-1 and then 12-1 in the playoffs. They beat Clement Cormier. Greg Morris was the coach, and they had a really excellent team. They had Kevin McLean, Kevin Butler, Joel McDermott, Rob Corkum, Terry Williston, Dennis McLean, Mark Sustainus, Terry Morris, Jason McLean, John Hay, Chris Hambrook, Denny Schofield, Jeremy Guimon, Ricky Stymus, John Blakely, Scott Daly, Paul Power, Bobby Moore, and Mike Jazwinski. Another story, it says McCormick is named Female Athlete of the Year in 1989. Kelly McCormick, Female Athlete of the Year, high school from James M. Hill. She is a field hockey player. She played on Canada's under-18 team at Toronto. She was looked upon as the nucleus of Canada's 1991 Olympic team. And wow, amazing athlete. And then it says Terry Whalen is named year's top executive. Terry Whalen, well-known Miramichi, year's top executive. And then there's another story here, and it says Desprez returns home, and that's the young Andre Desprez, who had a terrible accident in a game against MVHS, and he broke his back, or was it neck? I'm not sure, but it says.
There's a paragraph you can read there.
Okay. Chatham High School athlete was flown to Toronto Wednesday for medical evaluation and treatment of the serious injury he sustained in a November hockey game. Andre Desprez, a grade 12 student at James M. Hill Memorial High School, suffered a spinal cord injury which left him paralyzed during a game between the James M. Hill Tommies and Miramichi Valley Palamu. His father, mother, and aunt left for Moncton Airport to go check in on him. He will keep up his schoolwork, but it was, his father said he can now move his arms, which he couldn't do immediately after the accident. It was a really sad thing in our town. I remember being a kid and hearing about that story. It was some news, and it was really, really a sad time. And, not to cut that story short, but I don't want to always talk about that, just in case we do that a little bit too much, perhaps. But there's one there. It says local administrators honored, and Stephanie Waters. She's the mother of Butch. And where does it say? Chatham's Greg Morris, Stephanie Adams. Stephanie Waters, coach of the Chatham Club, was named Female Coach of the Year by the New Brunswick Figure Skating Association. So congratulations to Stephanie Waters and to all those athletes.
Inglis here.
Oh, Inglis, the Athlete of the Year. Took Colin Inglis only 53 minutes and 4 seconds to become the 1989 Miramichi Athlete of the Year. Okay, what's 53:04? What is that?
Running, I think.
Maybe running, eh? Okay, Inglis, an 86 graduate of Miramichi Valley High School, in his third year, won the 400-meter hurdles at the Canada Games in Saskatoon. Oh, so it's 53 seconds, sorry. His late sprint over the last 100 meters gave the 21-year-old New Brunswick's first gold at the Games. Well, wow, good for you. I didn't know that story. And then I already mentioned Terry.
Okay.
6th year in a row, Terry Whalen of Nordine has been selected as Miramichi Sports Executive of the Year. Well, right on, Raj. Here we are rolling along.
So we'll get back to the beginning of the new year again.
Okay. Back to the beginning of the new year. This is coming from January 1989. There is a dignitary handshake, folks. And we have Chatham Mayor Rupert Bernard wishes CFB Chatham Commander Colonel A.M. Lee a Happy New Year at the town's annual New Year's levee at the W.S. Logie Cultural Center Sunday. The base and the town have long enjoyed harmonious relations and are both entering the last year of the 80s on upbeat notes after concerns earlier in the decade that the base might be eliminated. Harmonious relations between the town and the base. And you wait until we read a story from 1987 where all of the members of CFBA Chatham were not allowed into the local bars. There were some fights or something, so we'll get into that in 1987.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we said we'll mention something about Shaw's Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
To do with this old-timers tournament.
Okay. Do you have a team photo up here of Shaw's Raiders? I saw it up there.
Yeah, well,
I saw it maybe up along there. I bet
well.
you it's right there. Okay, so old-timers hockey. 2 teams from Miramichi area participated in the 11th annual Bucktouche Puck Hogs Old-Timers Hockey Tournament with the final played on Sunday. In the Schooner Division, Shaw's Alpine Raiders, with Roger being a member of that team from Chatham, were the divisional champions. The score was Shaw's Alpines 9, Dieppe Roosters 6. Scoring for Chatham were Andy Burgess and Roger Cummo with 3 goals each. And signals went to Chris Gagnon, Lyle Clifton, and Jim Muck. And I'll tell you what, Roger had 3 goals, and I'll give you a guess how many assists he had. 0, because he scores goals, folks. He's a puck. No, Roger Cummo, we already mentioned in whatever episode it was, he was the 72, 73, and I think it was 74, 75 Industrial League scoring champ here, Roger Cummo, and he would have won it in the year in between, but an injury or a lack of games took away his the ability to have those extra games to score the points he would have needed. So we have not only a local historian, folks, we have a scoring champion.
So Dave Butler has something on the tournament down in Moncton.
Okay.
Individual Tommies go well.
Okay.
And jump way down to
McDermott.
this area here.
Okay. So, and you know, back to Hal Shaw's Raiders, my dad was a defenseman on that team, and I used to be a kid, and I was like, well, who's scoring all your goals? And Dad would be like, Roger.
So,
I remember it.
Yeah, well, he was Hal's partner.
Yeah, my dad had to play defense with Hal Shaw. And Hal's an older guy. Like, he was in his 70s and 80s when he was playing. Here's a story from David Butler. Individual Tommies do well in tourney. This is from 1989 when the Tommies won the Big Six. They had the best team in the province in the high school division. And it just says, you know, individual players. Tommies, Terry Morris, 5 goals, 9 assists. Ricky Stymus, 6 goals, 4 assists, were selected to the All-Star team. Morris at left wing, Stymus at right for that. And among other things, they received 6 sticks, a plaque, and a sparkling Coke kit bag. Tommy's Jason McLean also dominated the championship game. He didn't make the All-Star team because that team was selected immediately after the preliminary round, and McLean only scored in the playoffs. But yeah, Ricky Stymus, he has Logieville roots. I said it before, he reminds me of a Theo Fleury type of hockey player. I think he was kind of underrated, and I would think that if that guy decided to continue a hockey career, I would argue that Ricky Stymus had the ability to kind of play at a really, really high level.
Did you mention Jason McLean?
Yep, I mentioned Jason.
Okay.
And Jason's the son of Paul and Marjorie McLean, and you know, and the brother of Dax. And Dax is a guy that went on to be one of UNB's all-time leading scorers. That UNB hockey team, they have some sort of an operation, don't they?
Oh my God.
They're unbelievable. They just they put in their.
There's players across the country that
Yep.
go there for that.
Yep, they really do a good job of scouting.
I almost forgot about this convenience store that opened on Church Street. This is a special page, and
Oh, yeah?
the guys that help open up that store.
Oh yeah, so everyone welcome. This is the grand opening. This is 1989, grand opening, Monday, April 17th at 4 p.m. Here's a grand opening. Premier Frank McKenna will cut the ribbon. This is a new convenience store on Church Street. Church Street Convenience. This is in Miramichi, and I'm trying to like. Okay, I'm having a real brain. Oh, is this Foley's? I'm having a real brain freeze
just,
here.
almost across the street from the bowling alleys on that street there on the corner.
Oh, right. Yeah. There was a little convenience store. It didn't really last very long.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. There was draws and a giveaway. Congratulations. Church Street Convenience, corner of Church and Stanley Street. So if anybody remembers that, free pitcher, milk pitcher with every bag of milk. And orange juice was $2.29 for 2 liters at the time, folks.
Okay.
I don't think that store lasted very long.
Okay, I'm going to mention a little bit of curling, or Chatham in the end of their season.
Okay.
With that, and you jump to the winners.
Okay. So this is some curling. We got the World Championships happening right now, the women's side in Sydney, Nova Scotia. But this is 1989 in the local Miramichi, and it says Matheson wins April Showers. Section A was won by the Newcastle rink of Jim Matheson, Cheryl Matheson, Greg Gallivan, and Jean Ingersoll. Runner-up was Curtis Parks, Bill and Cheryl Witherall, Tom and Sandra Connors. Section B was won by Chatham's Jimmy Flanagan with Margie Robichaud, Mo Gautreau, and Nancy Nallen. Runner-up was Newcastle's Dottie Dixon with Ann Dixon, Freddie Siliker, and Kathy Siliker. So you know what? That sounds fun. It's something that I am wanting to get into, is this curling. I am really, really enjoying it.
So this is an interesting, you got to read this here. This is the wife of Bud Jardine.
Okay.
And it's a good...
Okay. We have a graduation announcement. Roger Cummo, the local historian, he hasn't thrown a thing away since 1947, folks, and he has this cut out for some specific reason. This is Phyllis Jardine is to receive a Bachelor of Arts degree at Mount St. Vincent University's Spring Convocation, May 12, 1989. Phyllis is the wife of W.R. Bud Jardine and daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J. Ben O'Reilly of Chatham. She recently received a Bachelor of Nursing degree from the University of New Brunswick and a certificate in gerontology from Mount St. Vincent University in Halifax. She is currently employed as a freelance screening coordinator for the National Film Board of Canada. Very excellent, Raj. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's pretty good, eh?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, this is the junior team. It's faded.
Okay.
So we can just cover this down to here anyway.
Okay. Is there a roster there?
No, there's no roster, but I think
Not really.
we might have shown that photo before with all
Okay.
the names there.
Okay,
It's not
tournament
hard to
starts on
tell.
June 30 in Newcastle. The Newcastle A and B Cardinals. Okay, so this is a junior tournament that was going to be hosted by the Newcastle Cardinals. They also have had a really excellent baseball tradition over there in the 80s and 90s. They had many great players until Chatham and Newcastle kind of had to join forces due to lack of personnel. But there's a team from the 1989 Newcastle side. I'm going to try to read through and see how many names I can get out of here. Team New Brunswick will host an invitational tournament in Newcastle. The Newcastle A and B Junior Cardinals form the nucleus of the Labatt Team New Brunswick that will represent the province at the Canada Games to be held in Saskatchewan. So they had the nucleus of the team. The team will be coached by Robert Stewart and Eddie O'Donnell. Assistant coach is Gary Wood. The Cardinals won this right last fall after winning the provincial title by beating out Fredericton. Unfortunately, we don't have a roster here, folks. And I'm trying to. There's John. Is that John Cann or Chris Burns?
John Cann.
That's Hatchet. And I don't see Adonis.
The photo's kind of faded.
Yeah, the photo's kind of faded. But anyway, it was a Newcastle team.
Eddie O'Donnell,
Yeah, there was a Newcastle team.
Robert Stewart.
There's
coaches.
Robert Stewart over there. It's but you know what we're not gonna do? It looks like you know what we're not gonna do? We're just not going to go back and do any sort of editing. That's how we roll it here. There is a great ball team of young Miramichiers right there, the Newcastle Cardinals, the nucleus of Team New Brunswick at the 1989.
Well, our mayor from Lowellville took a trip to Toronto.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mayor the mayor of Logieville at the time in 1989 took a trip to Toronto. Mayor sees Andre Desprez, and Andre again was the young hockey player. He has a great family up in Chatham. Frank used to cut hair for many, many years. And it says Logieville Mayor Clarence MacDonald, only known as Junior, dropped in to see Andre Desprez in Toronto last month while on his way to a vacation. Desprez was happy to see them, as he always is with any visitor from the Miramichi, MacDonald said. He usually does get quite a lot of visitors. They talked about how Desprez was doing, the progress he was making, and how things were going back home. He is an impressive young man. He has a lot of good qualities, Junior said. Desprez was paralyzed in high school hockey accident last year. He is in Toronto for therapy, and he has some use of his arms. So right on. I wonder how Andre has been doing over the years. It could not have been an easy journey. And I started to mention, Raj, when we first mentioned Andre, there was a player out of the States, 11 seconds into his first college shift down in the States. I think he played for Boston College. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Ben. Ben's my nephew. His name was Travis Roy. And it was 11 seconds, same thing. He got checked from behind or whatever it was, and he broke his back or neck. I'm not sure, but he was paralyzed. And he's from Maine. And so the high school association in Maine, they have a Travis Roy Award for a top player or whatever in the state of Maine. Yep. And one of my nephews, I know one of my, I'm not sure. Ben, Will, or Cam, 3 boys all played high school hockey in Maine, but I know Will was nominated for the Travis Roy Award before. Yeah, he was a finalist, top 3.
Oh.
So that's I don't think he won it, but just being, how do they say it? It was an honor just being nominated.
Well, there's a pretty good photo of bowlers.
Right. That is a great photo. And look at this group right here, folks. Just a bunch of lads after work getting together and going out to the bowling alley, and there's a trophy, and it looks like a trophy that's involved there, and it just looks like they're having a great old time. And the names on this list, that look like Terry Leggett.
Yeah.
The Miramichi Labatt Bandits captured the New Brunswick Masters Bowling Championship on Sunday in Douglastown. Front row, left to right, are Eldon McGrath, Terry Leggett, Billy Flieger. The back row are Paul Bernard, Wayne King, Art Leggett, and Jamie Leggett. And the only thing that's missing is one more Leggett, folks. But look at that right there. That's a great photo. And there is Terry Leggett. Terry's daughter plays basketball with my niece. And Terry has always been a really excellent guy. I remember just going around in high school. Terry, I remember, had a little business with the batting cages in behind Ben's, and he was always a member of the Ironman and stuff. Yeah. But as high school students, we'd go there. He was always older, and he always just treated us so well. And I'll always remember Terry. He's a very friendly guy. And my sister,
Big left-handed pitcher for the Ironman.
The big left-handed pitcher for the Ironman. That's Art Leggett up there. Is that Terry's uncle?
Yep.
Yeah. So the Leggetts are always around Chatham. They're good people. And that's a really excellent photo. So I'll be sure to contact Terry to let him know that we showed his bowling photo, and I'm supposed to have a coffee with Terry. So Terry, we're gonna have to get together at the old TNR Sports and have a cup of coffee.
So I know this.
Calico coffee.
I know this guy, Marcel Doucette, at the
Okay.
pulp mill.
Oh, yeah?
Interesting thing they built.
Oh wow. So Roger Cummo keeps them coming. For the birds. It says, couple builds 110 room house to attract purple martins. I do remember as a kid in the 80s, the late 80s, purple martins were plentiful. And I actually remember recognizing that they started disappearing a little bit. I remember mentioning it to Dad one time. But look at this beautiful 110 room house for some purple martins, and they started disappearing, and it was mainly due to I think pesticides on their migratory path. I was with my biologist friend, Miss Tara Crew, out of Kentville, Nova Scotia, and we were talking about this last weekend actually. If by coincidence, if everything works out as planned, 220 tenants will be moving into Craigville, and 110 rooms times 2, birds mate Some birds mate for life, actually. I know the Canada goose, I think, does. Don't quote me on that. Saturday, a 110-unit condominium was raised 27 feet above the ground on a 6-inch steel pipe. Really beautiful, Raj. And who's the guy you know?
Marcel Doucette.
Marcel Doucette, a millwright at Repap, decided to build a birdhouse for his lawn in Craigville, and look at the handiwork on that. It's really beautiful work. So obviously, Marcel Doucette knows how to work his tools.
Oh, yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful, beautiful. Now, looks like he has a rooster up there, though.
Yeah, probably weather vane.
Oh yeah. So the weather vane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Raj. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, just a short little clip on the season supposed to start in softball.
Yep.
And just mention these
Okay.
guys there.
Sonny Phillips and
then
Brad
we'll
Cameron.
We'll just kind of cover our own local team a little bit.
Okay. So we have the New Brunswick senior softball preview in the late 80s. It was still going. This was the Fredericton squads getting, they're still the team to beat. They had a really excellent squad. And we show this photo because he's a Logieviller. Brad Cameron spent most of his life in Fredericton. His pitching career, he was an excellent pitcher. And this guy right here was his catcher named Sonny Phillips. Sonny Phillips is one of the best hitters and players that has ever come out of the province of New Brunswick. And he was also a gentleman, and he was respected across actually Canada. He was actually Team Canada, and he was an excellent player. And he just, every game I don't remember watching. I saw him there at the end of his career. He was always 2 for 4. It just hits up the middle. He was just an excellent hitter. Okay, the Miramichi you played against him, eh, Raj?
Oh, yeah.
Old Sonny Phillips, just an excellent guy and an excellent ball player, eh?
Top rated, yeah.
And a good family man. Okay, the Miramichi, and this is the Miramichi squad in '89. The Miramichi is a relatively young team, and so has the traditional virtues of any young team: enthusiasm, speed, and solid defense. In other words, Fredericton was going to beat them, but the Schooners also have a nice blend of seasoned veterans with Stan Drillen, Scott Maston, Joey Daly, Greg Lynch, and Jimmy Keenan. The coaches will be coached with Stan Drillen as head coach, Greg Lynch and Bruce McDonald, and at least any other names? No.
Oh, that should be
Yeah. No, I don't think Larry McDonald was playing that year. His career was coming to an end. And it was a few years later where the Miramichi High-Low Schooners had a young kid. His father got a job at the mill. And this kid showed up. He was like 20, 21 years old. And let me tell you, he was the difference in allowing Miramichi to win. His name was Frank Cox. He was a Team Canada guy later on in his career, and nobody even knew who he was and where he came. And all of a sudden, he showed up at a ball practice, and it was like, okay, it's game on. He was unreal. Hey, Raj? We're going to share a story of him from the 94 year. Or no, whatever year that was, 93 maybe.
So we're going to get away from the Miramichi for one of the biggest entertainment things that was scheduled for Parley Beach.
Oh, Parley Beach, right on. What do we got here, Raj? Help me, Rhonda. My cardboard seat just collapsed. Thousands of people crowded into the Parley Beach area Sunday for an open-air concert featuring the Beach Boys. I remember being a kid when the Beach Boys came. Look at that crowd right there. My first concert, Rod, you know what it was? It was at Parley Beach, and it was Meatloaf and Def Leppard. But what do we got here? We got a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, folks.
Well, we don't know if they're watching the Beach Boys or her.
Or her. And who else was there?
Well, Michelle Wright, the top singer.
Oh, yeah. Rising country star Michelle Wright. So Michelle Wright opened up for the Beach Boys at that concert, and there she is. I remember her. She was like a country singer from around, she was a Canadian. And we had the a member of the Dallas cheerleaders performs as an added attraction to Sunday's gigantic beach extravaganza. We didn't give her a name, but right on, Raj.
We'll give another shot of her.
Another shot. Here's some more from the Beach Boys at Parley Beach, folks. Kokomo, I think. You know, the Beach Boys are awesome. And, you know, the album Pet Sounds And, you know, all it does is take anybody to say, oh, we got an NFL cheerleader here, and everybody at Pearly Beach was all excited. It was a great time. I remember my cousins went to it. They said they had a great time. There was 50,000 people. The rain dampened enthusiasm for some, but the Beach Boys rocked it out. Bruce Johnson, Carl Wilson, lead singer Mike Love. I bet you Brian Wilson, like the main genius behind the Beach Boys, was not there because he had a social phobia later on in his career. And here's a side note, Raj. Their most genius album called Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson, the amazing Brian Wilson, he's the creator, the writer of all that music. It's very complex. It might sound simple, but it's complex. He moved in beach sand into his home as a studio, and he had his feet in the sand playing piano, and he wanted to have that beach feel.
Oh my God.
So there's a little side note on the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson, and he's an amazing genius. Okay, what do we got here?
Stage, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is from the Beach Boys?
Yeah, that's the
So
one.
concert organizers are ready for fans. There's Pearly Beach getting set up for a big concert. And, you know, coming from the Brunswick, these concerts are, you know, they were far and few between back then, especially when you're getting 50,000 people. I also saw the Rolling Stones at Magnetic Hill. How much do we got here?
Oh, we're just almost done.
Okay, so we can do one. Okay, we'll just do it in one shot. So the concert organizers are ready for fans. They're starting to install the stage right on. The Beach Boys
Did you
came.
get the backside here?
I didn't get the backside. I'll show that.
Yeah.
So more photos from the Beach Boys at Pearly Beach. If you were there, let me know. If you see me out for coffee, what was going on? I'm sure it was a great show. The Beach Boys have a special place in American pop culture. Again, their music might come across as sounding a little bit simple. It's very complex. Brian Wilson is a genius musician. He's kind of he's got like a social phobia.
Look who made it.
Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, the title says Frankie and the Beach Boys. There's the premiere. And you know what, Raj? As we're going through these stories and all of your clippings,
Yeah.
what I'm seeing is like Frank McKenna was putting himself out there.
Oh, yeah.
He was a person amongst the people. He was connected with the population. It was a different time. You were able to go into.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, you know what I mean? It was a different time. So they drew 50,000 despite the rain. Bruce Johnson of the Beach Boys. And the Beach Boys even attracted New Brunswick Premier Frank McKenna, enjoying the concert with thousands of fans. And even more important than Frank McKenna, look at this guy right here enjoying the show. Look at the hat he's got on, folks. Where was he from? Capelé, Shediac, Notre Dame, Bucktouche. Anyway, he had his Habs hat on, and it was a great time.
No, we got something here on our local Johnny Ross's daughter.
Oh, right on. So Ross on center stage at opening of games. Okay, so here's another Logieviller. She's the daughter of the late Donnie Ross, one of Logieville's, great organizers. He was the principal of the school. Now this girl's name is Tracy. She's over 6 feet. She was a top athlete. She was a left-handed shot in basketball. She went on to play college sports. She's a very beautiful woman, beautiful red hair, and she was always very friendly and very nice. Ross on center stage at opening of games. Logieville's Tracy Ross, 19, occupied a key center stage role here on Sunday at the official opening of the '89 Canada Games. The colorful Olympic-style ceremony was held in front of upwards of 16,000 spectators, and the games will involve over 3,500 young athletes. And Tracy's the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Donnie Ross. Well, Mrs. Ross was Cheryl Ross. Put her name in there, folks. Dave Butler wrote that. It's a first-line forward with New Brunswick's basketball team, which played its first game Monday, 67-54 win against the host squad. Tracy scored 5 points, while Chatham's Tracy Lorden had 3. She's actually 6 foot 3 inches, and she graduated in '88 from James M. Hill. So right on. You'd be very proud, eh? Your child's playing top sports and anything your child does. When they succeed, that's all a parent wants.
So that's the building of our library, I think.
And the construction coming along, folks. This is the Chatham Library in construction in 1989. And you see that hazy, kind of foggy look of that picture? That's the grease blowing in from the Dixie Lee, which is just across the street. It was lunchtime. They had a lot of orders for the fish and chicken that day. The new Chatham Library is expected to open its doors for the public sometime in mid-September. Chapelstone Developments is doing the construction at the one-level facility that will also provide access for disabled persons. I was in there dropping off a book yesterday. I read the book on Lord Beaverbrook. And there's a worker in there. She's from France. And the other one is from Nigeria. And the other one is Anna Skid. And I go in and have a good chat with those ladies every time. And I've been pulling out a lot of books since I've been home, Raj.
Okay.
So right on.
We have a nice great big page here of Parker Manderson and his campground.
Oh, wow.
Preparing for Rendezvous 89.
Family Land Campground. Oh, I like the bottom picture too. Roger Como does not disappoint. This is Miramichi Leader, August 9th, 1989. Family Land Campground. And if you're looking to buy this campground right now, all you need is $14 million in your bank account and it's yours. Here it is right here. So that's Parker. He is the owner, the proprietor. He obviously had the ability to run a business because it was very successful under his tenure. Over 2,000 expected at Family Land Spot. Proprietor Parker Manderson watches guests enjoying the pool. Owner campers enjoy fellowship. And it says there are special activities planned for Family Land Campground this weekend, and Parker Manderson is delighted. It used to be a KOA with rumors of Bob Barker camping there in the 80s, which we think is bullshit. I don't know. He and his wife Vera own the Logieville Campground. Their son Peter is the campground manager who took it over. Rendezvous 89, an event sponsored by the New Brunswick Trappers Association and the New Brunswick Wildlife Federation, is expected to bring in about 2,000 people, including 300 campers. It's a beautiful part of land. It has beachfront. I spent so many years there as a kid, and it's very interesting because Parker's house, which is 120 years old, Roger's daughter bought it and has restored it into this amazing, like Amanda, the sponsor of the show, one of the sponsors of the show, restored it into an amazing interior, exterior, but she has an eye for antiques. It's really beautiful. And the bottom corner here, folks, anybody that was taking in some Ironman baseball in the 90s will recognize this fine Nappaner, this fine Nappanite, who is a real gentleman. His name is Gary Traer. He is the son of Abby Traer. And what's his mother's name? What's Abby's wife's name? Teresa?
Yeah, who's that? Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa. And Gary Traer was swimming at the campground
I think he was trying out to see if he could get the lifeguard job.
The lifeguard job at the campground. And you know what? I actually think I recognize this person right here. I just looked at the photo, okay? I could be wrong. Okay, you see this woman right here? She would have been a girl in 1989. I think that is Mel Rashore's daughter, Shelley Rashore. In the photo, Parker Manderson with his arms folded, looking it over. And you know what? I spent many years as a kid at this campground, and you can see this is looking north. That's north that way. That's the Miramichi River. They have a beautiful... times were so different, eh, Raj? Like, when that campground... And I'll tell you what, just because I see it right in the bottom of my head here, this is from 1978, we think. This actually is from... this is actually from the Family Land Campground. Roger got this when Amanda, his daughter, purchased Parker's house. Amazing interior work in there. And so Roger found all this stuff from Parker. Look at this right here. It says, to show it up to you, school ending, beach, party, and dance. Manderson Beach, Thursday, June 29th, 9:30 p.m. Music by the Saints. What was it? Admission $1. And it says sponsored by the Logieville Centennial Committee. I think, and Roger found that was just sitting on the couch just by coincidence. We don't plan. That's how amazing this show is. Mirami-histor-chi. We just fly by the seat of our pants.
Well,
He has like 10 copies.
And we don't know the year.
We don't know the year.
Well,
It said
I got 1978 marked down there.
it don't. Yeah, maybe it's not, like, we don't know the year for sure. Roger's guessing it's around 1978. It's but anyway, isn't that cool? A beach party, folks. When, like, times are different. Like, wouldn't you just love to be a part of a town and a community that just had beach party signs advertised on telephone poles?
So we're
It
down
would be
to the
really
last-
cool.
We're down to the last two
Okay.
articles. And
Okay.
we'll take care of the girls' field hockey.
Okay. In 1989, this is from November 1st, issue of the Miramichi Leader. This is an article by Dave Butler, who was the English teacher at the James M. Hill, and he did Moby Dick, so it was no joke. Here's one here. James M. Hill girls win field hockey title. James M. Hill had a really excellent tradition of the women's field hockey team. There's the team. There are some names cut off. I will read what I can. There was the coach, Art Grimley. They won it in 1989. There's some Logievillers on this team. And I will... Okay, so we had Linda Godfrey, Art... Okay, so Art Grimley. Oh, just a sec. Okay, here we go. Cheryl Lorden, Tanya Atkinson. We showed a picture of Tanya Atkinson from an Irish festival when she was a kid. Lynn Conkey, one of the star players. She was a force of an athlete. Shelley Logieviller. We just showed you her Mount Allison graduation. Congratulations in chemistry. Krista Thompson of the Thompson family of Nappen. We featured them. They used to have a petting farm, an amazing family. Erin Keating, daughter of Bernie Keating, the former principal of Dr. Logier. Kim Rashore, the calmest human being that Canada has ever seen. She's our neighbor. Natalie McDermott, Stacy Dunn, and Susie Jones. Susie was a figure skater as well. In the back row, Art Grimley was the coach. And then we had Jennifer Matheson. That's Tanya Matheson's sister. I don't know the one next to her. But we had Jennifer Skid. There's names cut off here. Sorry, guys. Trudy Smith. Linda Godfrey. Some Nicole girl who looks familiar, but I cannot remember her name. Then there was Lori McCarthy. Tara Ross. Kim Trevors. So we got most of them, but there it is, folks. They won it in 1989. Congratulations, girls. I'm sure wherever the tournament was, if it was not on home soil, the van ride home was a blast. And like every other van ride in New Brunswick of any team, you guys probably stopped at McDonald's.
Okay.
We're stopping at McDonald's.
So our last item is a nice, beautiful
Okay.
building on the
right on.
waterfront here.
Okay.
And guess who's there to help for,
Okay.
for the opening?
Raj, thanks once again for all of these things. This is really amazing. I'm doing things during the day. Roger goes through all these things. He's a busy guy. Okay, look at this beautiful home right here. That's on Chatham. I think it's on Water Street. And it's just east of the bridge, Centennial Bridge. So it's along the water there. It's across from that kind of marina, like that shipyard, like they do some ship repairs or something down there. I don't know what the... Anyway, it's a beautiful home. This is from the 1989, October 14th. And it says, Miramichi... Miramichi couple tackle Chatham's Charters house.
So it's called the Harbour Master House.
The Harbour Master House. This couple bought it, and her name was June Scott. Poses in the interior of the newly renovated historic Charters House in Chatham.
Okay, here, do that first.
Okay, I'll do this. It says McKenna attends opening. Was this a restaurant or something? Like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
One time it was.
Okay, so there's a beautiful photo. It says McKenna attends opening, and I'll read that out. Chef Wayne Jago of the Harbour Master Restaurant, okay, in Chatham, pours champagne Monday to mark the official opening of the new establishment. Among those on hand for the occasion were Premier Frank McKenna with restaurant owners Robert and June Scott. Roger Como was there as the local historian, collecting any artifact that he could. But that, I think Robert and June Scott, I think their son, like, was Greg, maybe? Greg became a police officer. I'm not sure about that. But that's a great story, Raj.
Yeah.
And look at that. Look at it. Like, if you're sitting here having a lobster roll, look out the window and you got a beautiful waterfront. It looked like a beautiful place. The house is in excellent condition, and it's a beautiful home, Raj. So thanks. I remember driving by it as a kid, but it wasn't, in my radar of going to, of course.
Yeah.
I was going to Ben's Burgers down the street.
Well,
And hanging out.
This story was done up by the Moncton Times, eh?
Oh, that's a Moncton Times story, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Raj, that puts us at, under an hour. We're doing pretty good. And what else do we got here? Just before we close, again, I'm gonna mention again a book that I read, and it was a description of a Miramichi, and it was David Adams Richards, the writer, talking about an older fisherman that he learned some tips from as he was fly fishing. And this guy just said he was, and he's talking about this guy, he was and always will be the embodiment of a Miramichi, proud, conscious of others, fearless within the bounds of physical environment, full of humor, and yet somewhat shy. So, Raj, I had a conversation today with a guy. He's been helping me out. I'm having a difficult time I live in Vancouver. I'm on the Miramichi following my dad's death, and I'm having a hard time. I got a foot in both oceans. And this guy sat down with me, and we had a great conversation. But one of the things I told him was how humbling it's been for me to come home at this time. And this project that we're doing, we're going through all of this old footage, and it's showing me the amazingness of the Miramichi people and all of the talents that people have. And they keep it very humble, and they keep it to themselves. There's things going on in people's houses. Roger's a fine example. And I can't, I was at a guy's house today, and I'm not even going to say his name and stuff, but he's a local Logieville guy. What he has in his house and what he's been doing for 60 years with his hands, making model scales and his craftsmanship, it's absolutely unbelievable. Roger's been there before and he's seen this man's work. It's world class. If he was in a different situation in New York City or something like that, he would have his own museum. It is that good. But I've been running into Miramichiers and seeing examples of things all over the place since I've been home. And, it's kind of been a humbling thing for me coming back from Vancouver and seeing all of the amazing work that people are doing here. So that's maybe a good place to end it, Raj. We're going to tackle that later, maybe.
Yeah, or we just shorten it right up?
We shorten it up right now.
Just name the 6
Okay.
doctors and the nice program is presented.
Okay, so what happened was Kevin Newell, the pitcher.
Oh,
Okay,
not going
yeah. Is that from '89?
No,
Okay.
that's not on.
Okay, so we just finished doing 1996, and it only took us 3.5 hours. That's how much stuff he had, and we skimmed the surface. And this is one thing that we left out. Okay, so we just did 1989 today. We're just going to go back in 1996, which we didn't include. And this was a program that it's beautifully done. Like, the paper's thick and smooth, and it was called The Heritage of Chatham, 1785 to 1996. This local historian, Harold W.J. Adams, Roger keeps pointing out how much work this guy has done over the years of showing the local history. It's very important for people to know their local history. It shows you where you come from. It connects you with different people. It shows you your heritage. It's an important factor for an educated person. Now, through this book,
Yeah, never mind going through the book.
I just want to show that one. I want to show that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can show a couple of things, Raj. Like I know we got a lot, but okay. For example, all of these names right here, when you see that, that's like people in a graveyard at the St. Michael's, behind St. Michael's Basilica. It goes on for pages and pages, and it's like this guy has put in so much effort. But one thing I want to show, and Roger showed me this. This is a rendering of Chatham in what year was that, Raj? 1881. This is an amazing drawing of Chatham in 1881, and this is a program that was put out in 1996. It deserves a lot of credit, and we didn't have time to cover it, so we're going to do it really quickly now. And like that, I think it's Pi O'Reilly that runs the local Chatham History Museum up there.
Well,
and
that's his brother Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
Sean's running it. I want to get in there, and maybe Sean would appreciate what we're doing here. We're having fun. We're not taking it uber serious, but we want to show the importance of the Logier family and how they have done so much for the town of Chatham, Miramichi. Though, it's a lineage of 6 different doctors.
Yeah.
With the Logier name.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them right there, and I think the top is a 6th guy. The first guy. And we will run these names out. Everybody that goes, they're gonna know Gerard. He's an amazing guy. He puts his time in with his patients. He's kind of got that old school thing about him. He's in it for the right reasons. So the Logier, 3 generations of medical doctors, Mary Clarissa Barry Logier and Dr. Arthur Joseph Logier, MD. So there's Arthur Logier, the MD, right there at the top with his wife. Then we have Dr. Christopher Lawrence Logier, Dr. Edward Barry, also known as Bud Logier. Those are 2 guys on the bottom right there. And then I'll read these 3 guys out. And we have Gerard Barry Logier, Dr. Arthur Joseph Logier, and Dr. Percy Joseph Winston Logier. And we're in a time right now in our world where getting a good doctor is a very difficult thing to do. There's so many different things happening. So they've given so much back to the community. The middle school in Chatham is named after these guys. If anybody knows Gerard, they know how legitimate he really is.
Harold dug out all the mayors.
And then another thing in this paper, Roger just points out, those are the former mayors of Chatham right there. All of their faces are plastered on this one page. It's an amazing little thing that Roger has here. And, the mayors of Chatham, since Chatham became a town, are D.P. McLaughlin, R.A. Snowball, T. Ives Byrne, W.F. Cassidy, F.M. Tweedy, I think Beaverbrook had something to do with him, C.P. Hickey, T.M. Gaynor, J.Y. Mercereau, J.K. Logie, G.T. O'Brien, E.W. Watling, T.M. Murray, H.S. Murray, E.S. Jack, D. Desmond, W. L. Hogan, H. W. Flieger, J. F. Kerr, that's Richard's father, M. J. Leggett, G. R. Jones, R. M. Wood, G. Ray Summers, Daniel J. Cripps, Dr. P. J. Logier. Oh, this is William Kerr Sr. Sorry. William J. Kerr Sr. That's Richard's father. Sorry, and Bill and John's father. J. Robert Martin, Bernard Flam, J. Edward Marr, J. Michael Bowes, and Rupert Bernard, and that's up till 1996. Thank you, Harold W.J. Adams, for this beautiful program. And what was the other thing that we didn't cover from 96 that the Confederation Bridge, but that's Prince Edward Island. That opened in 96 that we didn't have time to cover in our 3.5 hours. So Raj, is that it?
Okay.
That's it. Thanks guys once again for
We're neighbors to the first baby that was born in 89 in Canada.
1989. If I point that way, I could get to the first baby that was born in 89's home house in about 20 seconds if I ran Chris Ross speed, the father of that baby. If I ran my speed, it'd be 45 seconds. Okay, see you guys later.